All right, this is it. This is that video that I did for the nature theme back in November, October. I don't know, y'all. I'll try to link to it in the upper right hand corner iCards and in the description box below the video. Hi y'all, APG Jamie here, and today I'm finally showing you that aforementioned video that I thought ended up being too fancy for the nature theme, even though theoretically it is a nature theme. Okay, now those of you that saw the promo pictures, saw the sticks in there, I didn't use the sticks. Okay, I really wanted to do rustic, and somehow I totally failed on that, but the project is beautiful. So that can happen sometimes, y'all. I've got a scrap signature over there. What's it a scrap from? I don't know. I found it in a paper box. It was all clipped together, and I'm like, well, what do you know? Perfect little signature. Let's just use that for this project. And we also have faux chipboard, aka cereal box. And I've cut it down to basically fit our single signature. And we're sanding it because there's a slight gloss to it, but you don't have to do that. I just choose to do that sometimes, and sometimes I don't. It's like inking, whatever. Anyways, we cut it down, and we're putting gessos on the inside because I want to cover up the words, okay? It goes ugly, y'all. Just, yeah, stay tuned for ugly. Well, in my opinion, heat y'all. There is a lot of heat in this video. And I'm still trying to use up them washes that I have. Okay, a wash is the leftover sludge in your acrylic craft paint bottle, and you put a little bit of water in there, and you mix it all up. Now you got a wash, which makes it really thin paint. Okay. Anyway, I'm thinking, well, it's not so bad. It's doing okay. At first, when I used the back of a napkin, and this time I think I have a sponge in my hand, makeup wedge sponge thing, whatever. So we're just cruising along. Everything's fine. And I'm like, yeah, that's how I clean that excess paint from the sponge when it's watery like that. And I got this other wash, and it's empty now. Ta-da! And we're like, well, we're smooshed that around, and that was pretty opaque. Okay, opaque means you can't quite see through it. You can't see through it, even though this was a wash. So yeah. Anywho, so I'm like, well, I just covered up all that pretty fuchsia. Clean that sponge out now. Whatever you do, make sure you get it cleaned out. Make sure you show everybody how you're doing that, because save that paint, even every little juicy paint. So we got a stencil, because I thought, well, let's use a stencil, because why not? So we're just putting it on there, and we're going to baby wipe it off, and you got to keep turning your baby wipe so you got clean areas, and so that you're wiping it off instead of smearing the paint around. Okay. And I thought, oh, I like that. Doesn't look very naturey. It doesn't match that scrap piece of paper I was intending on using. That's kind of where some of my problem came in. And this is a violet color, red violet, I don't know. But when I smoosh it out like that, it went pink. Wash, y'all. It's a wash. And I'm thinking, well, in person it didn't look as good as it does on the screen. I thought, well, we'll just put some more of that on there, because I like that color, y'all. And so we just make these splotches, aka splatters, and then we're just going to let it dry. We let it dry a long time. And I thought, well, that is just ugly. It does not go with that scrap piece of paper that I'm insisting on using. Y'all get it in my head to use something, and I don't turn it loose like a dog with a bone. So we're smearing around some white gesso. Okay? Well, you see that. Well, let's put some of that orangey color on there, because, you know, that's bound to match, right? It's kind of a golden orange, really. Anyway, I don't know. Depends on what your screen shows it as, right? I'm like, oh, bless my heart. Let's get this other stencil out, because, you know, it's got nature-y stuff on there. It's flowers. It might not quite be the perfect time of year for it, but hey, it's flowers. That's nature, right? I'm still going along that I'm using this. This project's going to come out really good, just the way I didn't even think it would go this far. Now, here's the thing. You can throw it away if you don't like it, right? Or you can just keep putting in, I'm cleaning the stencil, and you can just keep putting layers on there until you like it, and then, or you get tired of it, and then you throw it away and you start over. So I grabbed a red, okay, and I did not list any of these colors out in the description box below, which does have a basic list of ingredients. We're covering the whole thing up with the red, and I thought, well, you know what, I kind of like that. It's a little bright, but I kind of like it, okay? And that is full strength craft paint, excuse me, y'all, not a wash. So I thought it's a little bright, so we're going to put some brown on there. We're going to get the brown just any day now. Any time. We're letting it dry. As you can see, it's dried for a minute. And then my brown, I did shake it, but it didn't mix very well. So then I had to stop the camera. Excuse me, y'all. And shake, 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 shake. So now we're putting the brown on there. And I'm not sure if you can tell, it is knocking back the red slightly. All right? And then when it dries, it will look red, kind of modeling, and all that work underneath, all that ugly work added to this final one, y'all. It wouldn't have been near this pretty without all that ugly underneath. And sometimes that's just how it goes when you're doing art journaling or any kind of art. You just get ugly underneath, let go of all that ugly, and it's pretty on top. Okay? Hickey. See, isn't that pretty? And I thought, well, let's put some gloss varnish on there and see what that does, because that usually deepens everything up. And oh man, came alive with that. Not matte medium, gloss varnish, y'all. And I thought, oh, I love that. Still's not quite naturey, but it's naturey, if that makes any sense. Anyway, I'll try to link to that prior video that was as rustic as I wanted it to be, because I really wanted rustic for that theme. Anyway, now we got the inside, outside. I flip-flop back and forth. I couldn't decide if I want it to be the inside or the outside, okay? And now I'm kind of going, now it's where it's getting fancy. I thought we might as well just keep going, because we got nothing to lose. We just got plenty of time today. Let's just do it. So we're taking some washi tape. That is washi tape I'm not a fan of. I've had it for years. And it's like the more I use it, the more that's on the roll. Okay? Anyway, I did get it from the King Dollar back when everything was $1, and there was 4 rolls of washi tape in a package. So I got 4 rolls for $1, quarter a piece, y'all. They weren't expensive, not like they are these days. Anyway, smoosh my washi tape on there, and we're going to get some fancy gold paint, real gold, y'all. And we're going to put that on there, so we can have mostly straight lines, even though it didn't matter. And I knew at the time I was doing this that it wasn't going to matter, because I had already planned what I was going to do with that scrapbook paper. Scrapbook paper. So, but anyway, I put 2 coats of the gold on there. It's gold acrylic paint. You know, after the first one, I let it dry, and then I put another one on there, because sometimes gold can be a little translucent and a little, not translucent, that's not a real word, translucent. That means you can see through it, sort of. Anyway, So when you peel the washi tape off, you want to make sure it doesn't overstick, all right? And you peel it flat against itself. You just smoosh it, roll it back out flat against itself, and you're less likely, keyword, less likely, or words, keywords, less likely to tear your papers, okay? Now, because I'd already sealed that paper with gloss varnish, because, you know, that's what I did, that helped it to slide off too. Now, I'm going to do this other edge, the two short edges or long edges, whatever. When I'm putting the washi tape on there, I am reusing it. I'm only pressing against the blank background. I'm not smooshing it down really hard against the painted edge, because sometimes when you put tape, or, you know, mask off on a newly painted edge, it will try to pull that new paint off, because that's what it happens sometimes, y'all. So I was only pressing against the board, not the painty part. So now we got 2 coats on that. We set it aside, we let it dry, and we're gonna cut that little scrap piece that I really had to use, y'all. I just had to use it. We're gonna cut it down to size. But I'm like, oh, love that gold. That's where that whole gold thing came from, because I'm like, I love the gold on this. It's so naturey and autumnly, even though it's, you know, theoretically winter. Anyway, so I thought, well, we got this little piece over. I think we'll turn it into a pocket, guy. And I didn't have my sizing quite right, because, you know, I have rulers. I just don't answer to them. So I'm scoring some lines, and I'm trying to not be too wide and be too short. And, you know, it's not like it's a... Anyway, we're just going along. Just go with me. Oh, thanks for coming with me, y'all. Anywho, trimming out the corners. Now I held it over there against my page, and I'm like, yeah, that'll work. Well, it's not my page, it's going to be my cover inside. I don't know. Whatever. So confused the whole time. Anyway, now we're going to ink around it, because we're going to be fancy. Remember I said at the beginning, and the title is Too Fancy to Be That Nature Theme, even though it qualifies as nature, because the paper's naturey. We use naturey stencil, yada yada. Oh, it's gorgeous. Sometimes I just can't believe I made something like that. Okay, so put some glue on there, and I'm using my tacky glue, because we are sticking it's kind of a heavy scrapbook paper. I wouldn't quite go far as to say it's like as heavy as cardstock, but, you know, pretty near. And we're sticking it on the faux chipboard, aka cereal box. My wooden roller. Need to stick down that one corner, so I put a little more glue on that part. Careful now, you don't want to cover up the gold, because any glue on there is going to muss it up. You don't want that. Okay, so we got that. All right, so now we're going to put the back sheet on, and I'm going to have to be careful on the next part, because I get a little confused. I know no one is surprised by that. Oh, and I hope everyone is having a wonderful day, and I appreciate you taking your time out of your holiday to come spend some with me, and, you know, I appreciate you. Ingredients in the description box below the video. Click on the word show more. Words is click on the words show more to see more information, including a list of ingredients. And I thought, well, I'll put the pocket, that's going to be the inside. And I'm like, why am I doing that? I'm so confused. Is this the outside or is this the inside? And I thought, well, let's put a gusset in it, because we got this extra paper. Let's just put a gusset in it. So we're going to put this on the inside, which will pull the scrapbook paper from the outside to the inside. I'm like, oh, I love the inside though. That should be the outside. No, it's the inside. I don't know. Now it's the inside, because there's a pocket on it, even though you can't put a pocket on the outside. There is no law and no rule that says you cannot put a pocket on the outside of your little journals, okay? So I'm trying to make sure that the little gusset part gets glued down without gluing the whole thing down, but that didn't work because I glued the whole thing down. Oh, it's so pretty. I thought, oh, it's so pretty. So we're going to do a pamphlet stitch to sew our little signature in. I don't know how many pages it is, y'all, about that many. And we're using big jumbo paper clips just to hold our papers in there where we want them. And we're taking our awl, aka poke tool, and we're poking a hole basically in the middle and just a little ways down on the inside from the top and a little ways up on the bottom. Okay, so we get 3 holes because I do 3-hole pamphlet stitch. There is a 5-hole pamphlet stitch, but I've not done that one because I just like the 3-hole. So we're starting on the inside. So we got a tail of our threads crochet. No, this is embroidery floss, y'all. This is embroidery floss. It's a golden orange color. Pretty, matches perfectly. Anyways, out from the inside, into the inside, out to the outside, into the inside. And then we have that long stitch in the middle. We want to make sure we don't pierce and split our thread because it won't tighten up if you do that, okay? So tighten it up, and we've got our long stitch on either in the middle of both those tails, and then we're going to tie a knot, and that will keep the knot from popping back through, okay? Because you don't want to do that. You don't want to pull real hard either because you don't want to tear nothing, do you? No, you don't. And I'm like, how long do we want to leave these strings? Oh, indecisions, people, indecisions. And I thought, right there, and that's still too long, which you'll see coming up, because you'll see. You're still here, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure you are. Anywho, look how gorgeous that is. Oh my gosh, in real life, people, that is just like, wow, fancy, fancy. I thought, we're going to decorate these little tails, and we got this autumn fall thing colorations going on. Let's use a little deer. It's an unbranded dye. Don't nobody freak out. That's just what it is. Okay? It's got 3 deers. It's got a buck, a doe, and a little Bambi. So we're using little Bambi because it's a little journal, y'all. It's small. You can see it's not much bigger than my hand at all. So we have the string in between 2 of those die cuts, and we're gluing them together. And I thought, we're gonna get glue on your paper. And then I realized his little feet was sticking out, and I'm like, I can't have that because I don't want his little feet sticking out because they're liable to get all bent and tore off and stuff. Because, you know, sometimes I manhandle stuff. Sometimes I do. So we're doing that, and now we've got our other little tail. I could have glued both loose ends of thread in the one die cut. Okay, I didn't have to do 2 separate ones, but I do 2 separate ones because I wanted to. We're using our art glitter glue, which I think I forgot to put in the list of ingredients. So there we go. Then we'll put our top on there, and we're smishing it all down. We're trying to make sure we don't got super gluey fingers because, oh, it happens. When you mess everything up with super gluey fingers, you get glued everywhere. Look how totally adorable they are. Y'all, I'm so happy with this project, and it's fancy. And I thought, we need something to put in there. I could make a tag. And then I thought, wait a minute, I have some library cards. They are real library cards, y'all, from the real libraries. They was going to throw them away, but I got them to give them to me. Anyway, this is where I realized the gusset was, you know, glued down. So we're messing around fixing that because we have to have an open gusset. We got it fixed. It's okay. It's perfect. And then I fiddle around with which side of the card do I want. And then I end up probably just doing whatever side it was is whatever side it is. What it was is what it is. And I thought, I don't want these pop dots on the back of these stickers. These Dollar Tree leaf sticker. And they're a 3D sticker. So there's 2 layers of the leaf that has like a little pop thing in between it, and then these on the back. Well, I didn't want that on the back. Not on these two. I left it on the little one. So, yep. And then we're going to stick those on there, and we're going to put some of that. We're getting a hole and not a hole puncher. It's a slot puncher, y'all. Everybody's got them now. Maybe not everybody, but you know, I like it. So we're going to get our embroidery floss, and we're going to make you know, a little doolally floofy thing to go in that little slot right there, because it's tag, and you know, tags are required. No, they're really not. There's no rule. There's no rule that you have to put floofies on your tag, or that your hole has to be a whole circle. It could be an oblong thing, and it doesn't have to be in the middle. It could be more towards one side or the other. Okay? And by middle, I mean centered. So we're positioning our leaves so we can stick them on there exactly the way we had them positioned, and the glue has stopped that. We don't put them anywhere near like I originally was doing it. So I'm like, yeah, we'll just put it that way, because that's the way it wants to go. Because sometimes that's how it happens, y'all. That is how it happens. Oh, look at that. That's cute. Got one more leaf. And I left the poppy dot, you know, foam thing underneath there, and I'm like, where should I put that? I don't know where I put it, y'all. There it is. That's where I put it, right there. So we're sticking it on there. As you can see, the tag is in the gusseted pocket. I like pockets. And what else are we gonna do? I think we're about done. Maybe. Oh no, we got to put a closure. See how it keeps wanting to flop open? Well, it doesn't do that anymore, because once it got used to being a journal and closed up, it knows it's a journal, so it's going to stay closed. Even though we still got this little tiny piece of elastic on there, which happens to be an orangey color, which happens to be almost exact same color as the embroidery floss we use. Talk about serendipity. Now I tied that to our spine, the thread that goes down the spine, okay? And then we tied a knot in it on the front, and then we're going to show it to you. Look how fancy, y'all. Just wait. Look, fancy gold edges. That just slides off. It stays attached. Open it up. It's beautiful. It's just, you know, regular notebook paper and little die cuts and fancy library card and little threads coming off of there. Look at that. Oh, fancy. See? Ta-da. Oh wait, there's more. Ta-da. Wait, there's more. Oh, photomontage. I so appreciate each and every one of you spending your time with me. I'm glad you're here. Just I hope everyone is safe and having a peaceful, lovely time of everything. I just was floored at how fancy this came out. I really wanted rustic for the theme. This is a nature theme, but I wanted rustic. That was just something stuck in my head, y'all. Okay? Thanks for watching, and happy art, y'all. Merry Christmas.